Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the shop. The last time we saw you guys in here, I was working on Project Black SI, got the ZC motor in here and the transmission. Had to take the transmission out because of that crazy squeaking release bearing. Oh, there's that squeak. Oh, it's probably like a release bearing maybe? I don't know what that is. Oh man, it's awful. So the transmission is still out. I got a clutch ordered. It has come in. It's just a simple stock clutch to put back in it. Stock motor, so I'm gonna put a stock clutch back in. Today I need to get the flywheel mounted. I need to get the clutch mounted and hopefully the transmission put on. I noticed when I was pushing this car around that it didn't stop very well. I think the brake lines are pretty much just gone. We ordered some eBay braided brake lines just to get them replaced to make sure the car stops. If I can get all that done, hopefully today we'll actually get to drive the car down the road for the first time. Old clutch disc and the pressure plate and the flywheel all sitting here. I'm gonna open up the new stuff and make sure that it basically just matches up to the old stuff and that we've got all of the right parts here to go into this car. This is the new clutch disc that came with the kit. We'll make sure the clutch alignment tool that comes in this clutch works in this clutch disc. That'll let us know that it is in fact the same transmission, and yep, sure enough, it locks right on there. This is the right clutch disc that will slide onto our transmission, so that's good news. Here is the release bearing and the pressure plate, pilot bearing. So that's all we'll need to put it together. And the new clutch. That's just blind loop. It's not really gonna matter much if this pressure plate lines up on this flywheel because I got a new one anyway. So let me grab that and make sure that it works on the new one. We didn't get anything too fancy for the car. It's still just a stock motor, so we're using all stock replacement parts. There's no real reason to upgrade it just yet. Whoever gets the car next, if they're planning on racing it or doing something hard with it, maybe they need to upgrade some of this stuff, but this is just a stock clutch and flywheel. Just want to get the car going, man. You know, save the EFs, right? Here's the new flywheel that's going to be going on the ZC. I'm going to grab that pressure plate and make sure that it locks down on all the little pins that are right here and all the bolt holes, they all line up. And that the disc, in fact, fits precisely on the flywheel, so that's going to work perfectly. That's good. Let's make sure that this lines up. The pressure plate is fitting perfectly. That's good news. It lines up on the little dowels right here, and right there. Everything lines up, and that lines up all the holes. Here, take a look at that. I'll show you. I know it's real simple. It's just a couple of dowels that stick up, and the pressure plate has to line up on those dowels. But we can see here that it's working. Now, I haven't pushed it down and locked it on because there's no disc in there, and there's just no need. But I can tell just looking here that the holes all line up, and it looks really good. So stoked on that, man. That's the flywheel torque down to 87 foot-pounds, and I took some brake cleaner and cleaned off the surface of the flywheel as well as the surface of the pressure plate where the clutch is going to be mating. Now that any oil or anything is cleaned off of both of those surfaces, we'll go ahead and mount the clutch. the new release bearing, and hopefully that's all. Sorry. This is a new release bearing, and hopefully that solves all of our squeaking issues. This is the part we actually had to replace to get rid of that squeaking noise. Down to it here. Replace this, and then I can throw the transmission on. Little help from Omar. Thanks, bud. Really kind of a tricky thing. You see that inside there, I'll try to point it out. There is the spring that goes across the bottom right there, and it has to clip into the side on that side and on the other side too. So it's a little tricky. I don't know if you can quite see in there. It has to be in front of it to get that clip on, but you see it moving down there at the bottom. It's a little tricky to get it in there, but I got it. Now we just have to slap this transmission in and bolt everything back up. That's not for you. That's for you, dude. This is just my lubricant. Been working like crazy on this thing. We've got just about everything done. Just got to put a little coolant in the radiator. But right now, it is at a place where we can start it up and see if we're still squeaking. So I'm going to jump in the car and see if we have that squeaking noise. If that new release bearing took care of it, then we are golden with that. I do think we're going to have a few other problems, but I'll get to that in a second. Let me just start it up right now, and we can at least hear and make sure it's not squeaking. Hopefully it's gone now. Let's jump in and check it out, man. There's the key. There's the key. Oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot to hook up the battery. Let me hook up the battery. This is gonna be the first startup since we put it all back together. Hopefully that squeaking noise is gone. Let's give it a shot, man. See what happens. No check engine light, that's good. Hey. So far, so good. We'll put it in gear. Out with the clutch. Oh yeah, there we go. Nice and quiet, second gear. And we are rolling out there. That is awesome. Finally, no squeaking noise. It sounds like we got that figured out. That's perfect. I'll put some coolant in this motor, and that's just about it, except for one last thing that I figured out. Let me show you. In doing all this, I have figured out that there is really a problem with this wheel. You see that? I've had trouble getting it to turn. I haven't been able to turn. I thought maybe it was just because the car's been sitting, because it's just gotten rusty just from sitting here, but it looks like that this brake caliper is locked up. I also went on while we were doing all that other stuff and put in some brake lines. Check them out, man. You can see all the purple brake lines everywhere. I put them in both sides in the front and also in the rear. They came in purple. I don't know why they're purple, but anyway, they're purple steel braided brake lines. So we know the car's got good brake lines, but it's definitely this caliper that has given me a fit, man. It is just not relaxing. So I think what I'm gonna do is tear that caliper apart and just rebuild it. But for today, man, I think that's probably just gonna wrap up this video, and I'll get to that caliper on the next one. I know we didn't get to drive it yet, and it is coming, but right now it is running and it is quiet, and I can't ask for more than that. Because that caliper is sticking, I'm not gonna be able to get to drive the car, and that is really a bummer, but it is what it is, man. I know it's just about impossible to find a new one, so I'm gonna tear that one apart and try to just rebuild it and hope for the best there. And like one of my favorite journalists always says, on that bombshell, we have to end. So until the next time,
stay mad.
There's a big fly in here, I see him. Hopefully he stays on the camera. All right, can you even hear it? You can probably hear it. He just, could you see him? I don't know, he just came around by my ear.
What video?
Shit, start over. Yeah, I stuttered that. Is that right? On this.
And on that bombshell.